paradise in the South Pacific. Grace Road. They rule their members with an iron fist, while entangling international authorities in a years-long game of cat and mouse. Unhindered, the cult built a vast business empire stretching across the island, warmly embraced by the local government. Their ambitions seem to be far from over.
반드시 정계에 들어갈 거야. 지배하고 다스리고 누리고 정복할 거야.
They expanded from 30-something businesses to 54 in the period following the raids.
Do we look like a cult?
There have been allegations of being fed improperly, being housed improperly, being overworked, well beyond what normal labor practices would allow, and physical punishments to top everything off.
I realized my passport was gone. I was panicking a lot. I was screaming for help.
This story is about religious fanaticism.
Actually, their whole purpose is about preparing for great tribulation or the Armageddon, the end of days.
About a regime deeply entwined with them.
The church were able to ingratiate themselves with senior people in the government of the day.
About freedom of press.
Our latest investigation story or piece is with our lawyers.
That the permits given to your production company must be cancelled forthwith.
We're basically holding back the stories.
And about an entire country in the chokehold of a sect.
What happens if you effectively kill this golden goose?
How did Grace Road amass so much power? How far does its influence reach? And why has no one stepped in to stop them? Well, we went there ourselves to find out.
All right, it's the first day here.
This investigation is, of course, a job for Valley. He previously traveled to Ethiopia for us, where a new ocean is forming. It doesn't take long to convince him to go.
So I was super happy when Fern asked me to go to the other side of the world to join a cult, I guess.
Now he's on a 48-hour trip from Vienna to Fiji.
This is the farthest away I've ever been from home. Literally the exact opposite side of the world.
Valley will spend nearly a week in Fiji, speaking with all kinds of people about Grace Road, or at least trying to.
Grace Road? Nothing much about them.
I've heard lots of rumors, but it was like out of my business.
All I know is that they say they are a Christian-based restaurant, but from what I've heard from rumors, they said they're working under cults or something like that.
I have had conversations with them. It's a confidential meeting, so I can't say more. From what I have heard, it is enough for me to know that this is not a church.
There are nagging questions that only Grace Road can answer. And to get an answer of them right now, as you now know, not very easy.
They haven't talked to us. They don't even know what we're doing. And yet they're trying to shut us down. If that's not a red flag, I don't know what is.
But let's go back to the beginning, before Valley's plane touched the ground at Nandi. It all starts here in Seoul, South Korea, between auto repair shops in an old factory building, on a Sunday morning in 2008. The woman in the blazer up front is called Shin Ok-cho. She spent 3 years evangelizing China, preached in Philadelphia and in South Korea. She claims she was trained by the Presbyterian Church, back then one of the largest Christian denominations in South Korea. But the Presbyterian Church insists Shin's story is false. Not that it matters much. By now Shin has her own church, Grace Road. And she has some pretty specific ideas about humanity's future. Jesus, she says, will soon return to Earth a second time. But first, the world must endure a doomsday. In South Korea, cults have been flourishing for decades. In the early 2000s, an estimated 300,000 South Koreans were said to belong to 100 different groups. Today, more than 300 cults are active in the country. Some experts trace this back to the national trauma of colonialism and war. Back then, cults offered social contacts, comfort, and salvation. Today, they promise secret knowledge, a path to material and spiritual prosperity. Many of these cults are controversial over their rhetoric. In her mind, there is only one way to escape the coming doom. They must find the promised land, where she and her followers can survive global famine and nuclear fallout.
Their plan was to establish these large farms and to assist in helping feed the world during a time of hardship. That was the message that Ok-cho Shin was promulgating from her pulpit.
Dan McGarry is an editor for the Pacific region with the OCCRP, the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project. He's been investigating Grace Road for years. Around 2014, Shin's son, Daniel Kim, takes up the quest to find said promised land. He searches for a place with no winter and a steady warmth between 20 and 30 degrees Celsius. In his pursuit, he allegedly traveled to 60 countries. and eventually his search leads him to Fiji. An archipelago of 332 islands and over 500 islets. Scattered across an ocean expanse almost twice the size of the Gulf of Mexico, only 100 are inhabited. Fewer than 1 million people live here, most of them on the main island, Viti Levu. That's also where the capital Suva is located. Until 1970, Fiji was part of the British Empire, so English became the official language, and because India was also under British rule, many Indians ended up in Fiji. Today, next to English, people here also speak Fijian Hindi and traditional Fijian Aituke.
Like you said, at the end of the day, only thing you hear is stories, but it's important for us to see it and believe it. We can't be depending on the stories we hear.
Back in 2014, Kim wrapped up his assessment of whether Fiji could be the promised land. Now he's about to leave for his next destination, Nepal, but he gets stuck in Fiji and takes it as a sign from God. His quest, he believes, reached its conclusion. Soon after, Grace Road announces they have clear evidence. This is the land God has prepared. And so Prophet Kim's mother and hundreds of church members follow him there. Others believe no prolonged search mission or higher power was involved.
There used to be a direct flight from Seoul to Nandi. That's it, it was a direct flight.
Reverend Bhagwan James is the General Secretary of the Pacific Conference of Churches, an organization to bring together different churches in the Pacific region. He is also a minister of Fiji's Methodist Church.
I can tell you that I have been aware of the Grace Road group for about 11 years now. I was first approached by Korean groups in Fiji, faith groups in Fiji that are doing